for the open house right now, but now we're going to get to inviting people to your open house. And again, I'm not going to talk about all the traditional methods that we do speak about, although online has become, basically a traditional method right now. I will focus on more of the online tactics, but such things as postcards to invite people, canvassing, door knocking, that stuff is still critical. So definitely, I'm not saying here to get away from the fundamental stuff. This is in addition to that. So some things that you might try to do, record a video invitation in front of the home to invite people to the open house. Have a video preview of the home. This could be something like
Fordline have their own website already and do have a virtual tour and a video available.
Virtual tour companies out there
and a YouTube video.
Like a visual tour or any tour company, if you will, that's out there. Tons of different ones that you could potentially use there. So I think, in today's day and age, it's really important. It's a great way to, attract somebody to the home if you have a nice little video preview of what the property looks like. It's going to hook them, and then they'll actually want to see the property live. You can create even a Facebook page for the property as well. You select a local business or place. You can use the address of the property and basically almost create an event type page to promote the open house. Single property websites, I know they've been around for a while. Again, a bunch of different companies that you can use there, but just another useful way to help market the property and be able to have a website and a URL to direct people to for information about that property. Update, share your open house. First, and I don't have it here, but your MLS. Make sure the property is open on your MLS. Then go to your admin, your manager, your broker, ask them to place the open house information on Wenger.com as well. As you know from the timeline, if you will, you'll want to do this very, very early in the process. Hopefully Monday or Tuesday of the week of the open house, if not earlier than that. And one of the reasons why I say to do this, especially for Wenger.com, is because Wenger.com is going to feed to a lot of different sites for you automatically. So for example, the open house will feed to sites like Trulia and Zillow. However, it's all based on when Trulia and Zillow is going to pick up the open house feed for us. So if and they usually do it earlier in the week. So for example, if they decide to pick up the open house feed on Tuesday, you place the open house on Wenger.com on Friday. It'll show on Wenger.com, of course, but it's not feeding to all of our syndication partner sites that display open houses like Trulia, Zillow, etc. Event sites and other sites as well. I've put a couple up there. Craigslist, Eventbrite is another one as well. Craigslist, again, another one of those sites that's been around for a while. It looks very, very plain, but it gets a lot of traction. And in most cases, in most areas, you could post an event on these sites at no charge. So it's a great way to get some free promo there. So I definitely suggest using some of these sites to help promote your open house. I like this idea, and I know this has been out there, but maybe a little bit of a different spin on it. Host an exclusive neighbors only event. I wrote two things here: luncheon on the day before, several hours before the open house, to have a quote preview. I don't like the term necessarily preview before the open house. I kind of like the idea of having a invitation only exclusive event for the neighbors the day before, some sort of like a luncheon event. You might have some appetizers, pick-ons, things like that, and gives you an excuse to go and knock on the door and talk to the neighbors. So you go, you knock on the door, you hand them the invitation. If they're not there, maybe you place a door hanger on there, and and invite them to the event as well. Great way for you to be able to invite the neighbors to the home for a couple different reasons. I know everybody's a nosy neighbors, but I let them come in. I mean, you want them to come. They can be a source of business for you. The neighbors will be able to tell you, potentially who may be looking to move into the home. Oh, hey, I was so glad the property went on the market. My daughter's actually looking for a home. She wants to stay close, or whatever the case. Maybe I have a cousin that's looking. I have, I know so and so who's looking. I'm going to definitely tell them about the open house that's coming up tomorrow. Great way to generate business. Also, the neighbors will come in. They, again, maybe they are nosy. Maybe they want to take a look at the house, and they'll say, "Oh, what's the asking price for this house?" "Oh, it's $395. Wow, my house looks better than that. I think if they're getting $395. I bet we could get $450 for our house." And I'm just making up numbers there, but it, maybe might entice them a little bit. Oh, are you interested in selling your home? I can come over. We can do a listing presentation. Do you have some time? Tomorrow at 6. And again, the whole idea is to generate business for you, build up your sphere, get appointments. So the neighbors, don't look at the nosy neighbors as a negative, turn it into a positive for yourself. I mentioned the door knocking already, but it's a great way for you to get face-to-face with people in the neighborhood. And is it your farm area as well? If you're sitting in open house in your farm area, even better, another excuse to be able to knock on the door, maybe interact again with your farm area, and again, inviting people to the open house. Brokers opens as well, always useful. When you have a new listing that comes on board, whether it's it might be more the listing agent that's hosting this, but it's a great way for you to get some exposure to the rest of the agents and brokers in the area, so they can go ahead and provide that information or provide the new listing information to any buyers that they might be working with. Just be sure you kind of dollop the event, if you will, have some food, potentially have some drink as well. And this goes without saying, but just wanted to say it anyway. Some of these ideas are obviously going to require approval from your seller. So when you're hosting things like events and luncheons and having food and things brought into the house, it's something that you want to be sensitive to the seller about, and you want to talk to them, and you want to provide the reasons of why you're doing this and how it's going to create exposure for their property. Some other additional open house event ideas. We had just talked about the brokers open. We had just talked about the neighbor event as well. You might consider adjusting the time and day of the open house based on the property location and the type of property. We promote the Sunday open house, 1 to 5, 12 to 4, whatever it might be. But don't let the time of the open house stop from holding an open house. So if you say, I can never do an open house on Sunday, okay, why don't we try something different? The commuter open house, this might be useful for a listing that's on a main thoroughfare. You might hold it from 5 p.m. to 7 p.m. This might catch the eye of somebody, some commuters that are out there. Right after they get out of work, they might have some time before they go home to take a quick look at the property if they are looking to potentially purchase. An evening open house, you might have something like a wine and cheese event. And it also gives the guests that are coming in a good look at what the home looks like while it's in use, especially for millennial home buyers as well. They like to entertain. Many people like to entertain. So this gives them an idea of what it looks like to have a quote-unquote party in the house. You're entertaining in the house. How the property plays on itself. How's the flow from the kitchen to the living room to the dining room? you'll be able to enhance some of these features as well by holding it in that evening type cocktail type hour. The evening open house is often useful for some of your more luxury upscale listings as well that you might have. Another thing to try, might be a lunchtime open house. If it's an area with a lot of businesses, if somebody's on their lunch break, you might have some food at the open house. It might draw them into the open house. Again, the whole idea is to create as many guests, as many visitors as you can. I'm going to pause again just for a moment, and I'll launch another poll for you. I think this is my last one. Just curious to see, have any of you actually hosted any of these different types of open house events?
Oh, I gotta get up again.
Just make sure you stay awake.
Yeah, really.
Open house, lunchtime open house, the quote-unquote neighbor preview, if you will. I know I said I didn't like the word, but I couldn't find a way to shorten that, I guess, to fit that little poll area there. And as you're answering the poll as well, in the questions log, if you have any experiences that you might like to share, I'd love to share it with the entire group, if you can. So a lot of people have done the neighbor preview, which is great. I think that's a fantastic idea. About 25% of people who voted did a lunchtime open house. That's great. Not so many on the evening or the commuter open house. You have 10 and 15% respectively there. And again, this is going to all be based on...
Imagine in Jersey a commuter open house after they've been stuck in bumper traffic for, an hour. I want to talk to those folks. It's not good.
Well, and also your market, depending on,
hopefully they're stuck right in front of your house.
You just stand outside and people.
And it's a good place for traffic jam, right?
for voting there.
Come in and have a drink while you wait.
That's right.
You're not going anywhere for the next 20 minutes.
So basically, what we've just done, and we've talked about a bunch of different prep work and planning, etc. Let's talk about some additional things that you might do at the open house. This is important, and I know this kind of goes towards the fundamental, but when somebody enters the open house, go to the door, stand up, greet every single guest that comes into the open house. I know you probably think that's funny when I'm saying it right now. I can't tell you how many open houses I've been to when I walked in and the agent's sitting there looking, typing away on their laptop at the kitchen table, looking down, oh yeah, go ahead, walk through the open house. If you have any questions, let me know. To me, that is such a mistake. So that's why I'm just saying here, stand up, greet every person that comes into the open house. Point them to the quote-unquote greeting and display table that we talked about before. Offer them a water if you have any food there as well. Go to the display table, have them take a look at your display board. You might take out one thing on the display board to focus on or to mention as they're coming in. Have them sign in. Very important. You can use the guest register. I really like the app Open Home Pro. It's available for iPad. It's available for your Android tablets as well. It gives you kind of a structured way to sign in. They type in their information. You don't have to worry about decoding scribble that's on a one of those smaller guest registers. Ask for the email address as well. We had talked about this a little bit before, but I had mentioned putting some information on a flash drive. You may go this route instead. Hi, Mr. and Mrs. Buyer. Thank you for coming to my open house. If you would sign in on my iPad, and if you don't mind, provide your email address as well. As a follow-up, I'd like to just send you some additional information about the property, some photos, potentially some photos of the property, a virtual tour of the property as well, just so you remember what you see. It might be mortgage information, it might be anything else that we shared before that you include in that email as well. Offer something of value, and in most cases, I don't think people are going to be too hesitant to provide that email address. Tour each guest through the home. Another fundamental of a White Open House as well, but I have it here, again, just to go back to the agent that kind of just sits there and says, hey, go ahead and go look at the home yourself. Not saying that you have to go through every single room with them. However, you should take them through the home somewhat. You don't have to go through and say, this is the kitchen, this is the dining room, this is the living room. They can obviously figure that stuff out themselves, but there might be some unique features of each room that you might want to point out. This is a recently updated kitchen with such and such appliances that were just installed. This is notice the open living space, whatever you'd like to say, but I think you get my drift there. Focus on each guest that comes in, meaning tour kind of one group at a time, if you can. If you're touring a group through the house, another group comes in, greet them, welcome them to the open house, and just say, hey, if you don't mind, have a look around while I'm touring this other group through the open house. Show them the greeting table, show them the display table as well. This way you can concentrate on one guest at a time if possible. And offer the information to them just like we were talking about before. Ask questions as you're touring them through the open house. It generates discussion. You're able to uncover their wants and needs. You could potentially use your open house guest profile, which you can access on whiteoak1.com as you're taking them through the house. Jot down notes about every single person that comes in. Here's some questions that you might ask. How soon would you like to be settled in your new home? How long have you been looking? Have you seen many homes? If you found a home today, what would you do? Would you buy it? Do you know what you can afford? Do you want to buy this home that you're looking at right now? All questions that are going to generate discussion. Nothing there is a potentially a closed-ended question, if you will. It gives you the ability to generate a discussion with the potential buyers, and it's going to also give you the ability to offer your help to them. So they don't know what they can afford. Hey, I can put you in contact with your Gold Services mortgage partner. You can see exactly what you would be pre-approved for, and then after that, we can start looking for homes. Can I help you show other homes? Are there other homes that you're interested in? Nobody's coming into the open house in most cases, and with a stack of money and say, "Here, take my money. I want to purchase this open house." You have to ask for business. You're sitting in the open house. The whole idea behind it is to again sell that property, but to also generate business for yourself, and you need to offer up your help. I know I keep going back to it, but don't be the agent that sits there behind his or her laptop and says, hey, just go through the house. Go ahead and go through the house. If you have any questions, let me know. See you later. Offer your help, offer that information to them, and get an appointment. If you're getting to a point where you're starting that discussion with them, hey, why don't we meet at my office, next Wednesday at 6 p.m. and
Or be better on
Friday. A buyer consultation presentation, so we can really assess what you're looking for. I'd like to show you some homes afterwards, and also put you in contact with our Gold Services mortgage partner, so you know exactly what you can afford, and we can tailor our home search based on the information that we uncover during that meeting. Okay, after the open house, you're going to follow up with all of your guests, phone call, email, text, whatever it might be. Immediate follow-up is really key. I know on our success card it says at least 24 hours follow-up with all guests. I'm almost doing this, pretty close after the open house. That same day, you're open. If you hold for open house, it ends at 4 o'clock. Maybe a little later that evening, you're going to send an email that says, thank you for attending the open house. Really appreciate you attending the open house. Here's the information that I promise call,